Today on the Marketing Monday minisode, we're talking about superfans. Are you growing them for your design business?
Have you hit a wall when it comes to growing your interior design business? Then welcome to Wingnut Social, the podcast specifically designed to accelerate your business through increased social media presence, impactful online content, and translating industry experience into physical success. This is your design business tightly fastened. Now welcome the hosts of Wingnut Social, Darla Powell and Natalie Graff.
Hey there, and welcome to the Monday Marketing Mini Potty. I am your host, the Grand High Poobah, Darla Powell, and I am joined by the Soulless Ginger.
I'm not even going to say nothing until you say it's minisode. Darla.
Monday Marketing Minisode.
Okay, thank you. You are joined by the ever wonderful Soulless Ginger, Natalie Ann Graff.
Wow, who's clearly full of herself today.
Listen, we're talking about superfans, and I want you to know I have my superfans. Mango and Mackie are with me, and Radar's on the floor. Does that count as superfans?
In your world, probably.
Oh, good. That's about all the fans I need.
Set your barriers low, or
right,
however they say. Natalie, when we first started out, I was such a stickler with having no dogs in the podcast studio, and now all three of our boys are in here.
Well, that's because I made it. They wanted to be with me because they think that it's time. It's that 5 o'clock time instead of in their world. Their 5 o'clock is their kibblage.
It is kibble times. Natalie,
yes.
Today on the mini potty, we are talking about superfans, and this actually appealed to me. I was listening to a podcast recently concerning building a loyal fan base, engagement on your social media, and the superfans word was bandied about. And I was like, that's exactly what we do. That is what we should be doing. That was the whole purpose of community engagement on social media and what we are striving to build. So I want to talk to you a little bit about superfans and creating them for your design business, or even if you don't have a design business, just creating that in general and building your brand. Are you familiar?
I am very familiar with superfans. Not only did I get a lesson from you on what they are, I actually knew a little bit about them because we do have a few superfans for Wingnut Social and for the podcast. And it's refreshing. It's wonderful.
It's nice. Yeah.
And the things that these fans bring to your business, money can't buy.
That's absolutely true.
Money cannot buy that. And I don't want to get the cart ahead of the horse here, Darla, but let's just start with money can't buy that, and you can explain why.
So we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. So superfans are those people who love you, love your brand, love what you're putting out there. If you're an interior designer, it could be your work. It could be your videos. It could be your podcast. And
You're not the only one with superfans, Darla.
No, I know. We're not. I'm just
giving you a hard
time. And this isn't about me, and
me,
this isn't about you, and this isn't about anyone that might like our show. And God bless you. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support that you've shown us. But I don't want it to devolve into a Wingnut Social Love Fest. This is about curating superfans for you and your business, your interior design business, whatever it may be. Now, if we're talking about the interior design side, I had a lead call for our design firm. I have to say the name, Darla Powell Interiors, who said, they were asking about her service, and she was like, "Oh, and I follow you on Instagram, by the way." And she was really enthusiastic that she follows on Instagram. She's a huge fan of the page. To me, that's a pretty engaged fan. That's somebody that felt the need to mention it. And that's kind of super fan, but I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. So superfans isn't my idea. It's not even Pat Flynn's idea, who spurred me to think about coming up with this topic for the mini-sode. Pat Flynn is a business advisor. He has his own podcast, and he actually has a book that's just come out called Superfans, which I purchased, but I have yet to read it yet because I want to tell you guys my take on the superfans just from our experience here. So what superfans do is they help you grow your business. They are ambassadors for your business. They are evangelist for your business. They might not even be your ideal client. They might not be someone that can afford your luxury, high-end, full-service design, but they will sure as hell be the first person to say, "Oh, I know a designer. I saw her on Instagram. You need to check her out. That's Darla Powell Interiors." And we have had that happen at the design firm. We are doing a full-service, high-end consulting job now for a client who found us that exact same way. How do you go about getting superfans, Natalie? It's really easy. It's not easy. It's time consuming, but it's
very simple.
Freaking simple.
Can I explain?
Explain.
Okay. So you're doing your daily do. You get something in that says, "Hey, you have a DM from so-and-so." And this so-and-so, it may be a lengthy DM. I've been checking you out on Instagram. I really love your design. What you did in this room was blah, 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 blah. Long story short, because it could get really lengthy here.
Especially with you.
With me, yes. So all you need to do is take the time to respond back to that person. And if they ask you a question, hey, what color was that wall? Take the time to tell them. Mm-hmm. Be that person, because in the end, what they're going to give you in return down the road, you cannot buy that. So what is 5 minutes of your time showing some kindness, showing some appreciation to someone reaching out, asking about work that you do? It in turn goes.
And that's true. And there's this prevailing sentiment that I hear sometimes in the groups of designers won't answer questions sometimes. And I do get the counter argument. They don't want to answer what wall color that is because clients do pay them good money for that wall color. So that's something you're going to want to balance out. Think of yourself, if you're asking the designer, hey, can you share what color that is on the wall? I mean, maybe you have them do it in a DM, so, you keep that privacy with your client. But think if you were asking out how you would feel if the person responded, I'm not going to tell you that because people pay me money for that. Something that could be answered is simply on social media. I mean, really, is that going to damage you? I think you're going to be doing a whole hell of a lot more relationship building and that enthusiastic fan building just by saying, you know what? It's Alabaster by Sherwin-Williams. Thank you so much. If you have any other questions, please let me know. And you have hooked that person. That person is like, man, this is a stand-up kind of person. If I want to do interior design, if I know somebody who wants to do interior design, she was very helpful. I am a super fan. Or I'm maybe not even a super fan. Maybe they're the next level down and they're just an active audience member or someone that's aware of you and interested in you and a fan.
Well, right. And the active audience member would be someone like a lot of these Facebook groups that designers are in that we go back and forth with. And let's say a member of that design group, if someone is asking a question, let's go to the Ivy design group and someone's asking someone about social media. If you have super fans, more than likely our name, Wingnut Social, pops up at the top and then someone else will put someone else's name. So it's who you take the time to cultivate that relationship with. I mean, not only Wingnut Social, I believe all businesses should have super fans. It just gets you back at the top. You stay on top of their mind and say, you know what? They were really nice to me. They did this. I've been following their work. I'm going to recommend them.
Yeah, this does take time and it does take some hand holding and it takes that really soft touch to get in there and to really treat these people like they deserve and to give them the importance they deserve. Every one of those people is unique and important and their questions are important and they want to feel heard. They want to feel like they're a part of your community. Now, I'll give you an example of someone who does this badly and then I'll give you an example of someone who does it really well. Our design firm's in Miami, our business in Miami. And there's a restaurant here that I love. I love their food. I can't get enough of it. And if anybody was going to be a super fan or a brand ambassador of it, it would be me. And every freaking time I comment on any of this restaurant's social media accounts, I get crickets. I have never ever gotten a response on their social media. And I realize in my head that it's not because they hate Darla Powell, but still there's that visceral response of, well, I guess I don't mean anything to them. Their food's great and I might still go, but I'm just.
Or they don't have a social media manager or someone that does it all the time.
But I'm talking the psychological effect.
The psychological effect.
I'm someone who's engaged. I like their restaurant, but I'm not a super fan, not at all because of that. And it's only because I think
you stopped following them and you stopped commenting.
I did.
Because you've lost interest.
I lost interest. So that was a missed opportunity to cultivate someone, a super fan, to say, thank you so much for coming to our restaurant. Happy anniversary. We're so glad you had a wonderful time. Please let us know. Bada, 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 bada. And someone that does this really well, and this is a more on a national brand fan base, and you guys might not like this brand, but they kill it with their social media and their engagement in developing super fans. I mean, people sign up for Twitter just to follow this account, to read what are they going to post next. They're hilarious. They're engaging. And that is MoonPie. the cake, the little sandwich with the marshmallow in between MoonPie. Nicole Heimer turned me on to this.
I was going to say, didn't Heimer turn you on to that?
Yeah. And I have to tell you, I will go to Twitter and I'm not a huge Twitter fan. I enjoy it from time to time, but I have to check the MoonPie feed because they do it really well. And their percentage of super fans has to be crazy high. And getting to the percentages, you're going to find the super fans of you and your brand and your videos and your work that you're putting out are going to be a small percentage at the top of the pyramid, but they're the ones you really want to make sure you nurture and the ones you want to handhold and make sure you're paying attention to, because again, they are your evangelists. They are your ambassadors.
And I do have another super fan story.
Uh-oh, what?
Remember the charity project that we did for autism?
Yeah, of course. The pink bathroom
She
for
was a super
autism.
fan.
That is going to be in the show notes. So I can post a
Absolutely.
link to that's right. She was a super fan.
She was a super fan of White and Company. And the owner of White and Company reached out to us because we were in Miami and we were closest location wise to be a part of this project. And she was our super fan, commented all the time, always encouraging, always whatever. Long story short, they had a lot in common. They both had autistic children. And she was her super fan. And now, on a personal note, she follows my page personally, and she always sends me on my stories little notes, words of encouragement, or, oh my gosh, that looks great. And so it's kind of nice because now I personally know this woman and she's wonderful. And she comments and it makes me feel good. So
Right. We have a great relationship with Angie.
it's like an intertwined relationship that started on a completely different company, but yet trickled down to Darla Powell Interiors and then to my page personally.
And she's a wonderful brand ambassador.
Absolutely.
And it might not be something where she ever hires us for full-time, full-service interior design, and that's absolutely fine. My relationship with her is plenty fulfilling without any of that, but she speaks so highly of us, and
She'll be the first one to
Yes.
recommend us to any one of her friends that are looking for an interior designer. Say, listen, you guys got to call them, look at my bathroom.
So anyhow, I guess what this episode really boils down to is just really paying attention to the details of the engagement of your brand, of all your Facebooks, your social media, if anyone comments on your blog, reaching out and just taking that extra time to jab, jab, jab.
Yeah.
Maybe not even with the right hook, Gary Vaynerchuk's jab, 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 give, and establish yourself, as the brand expert. Get people to fall in love with you and be your ambassadors for your brand. It takes time.
They'll sing your praises all day. Don't let that email go by that you got in that came in on your info.
Those are hard. Emails are hard to keep up with. We have to.
But you've got to take the time, even if you star it and keep it new in your inbox and you may not get back to it for 4 or 5 days, take the 5 minutes to return it because it's unbelievable what it can do.
Yeah, I have to admit that the email is my weakest area. And we're going to hire that virtual assistant.
I knew that was coming. Okay, Ellen, drink up.
That Brittanie Elms told us. Yeah, I keep meaning to look out for her. But anyway, guys, like I said, I didn't invent this. Pat Flynn didn't invent this. But if you want to get Pat Flynn's book, Superfans, the easy way to stand out, grow your tribe, and build a successful business, you know how I love books, audiobooks especially. You can check that out. I think it's like $9 for the Kindle version. It's pretty easy peasy. And we can put that link in the show notes. But anyway, this episode just really boils down to that. It sounds simple, but it's the most important thing I think you can do for marketing in your business.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
All right, guys, if you like what you hear, please leave us a review to iTunes or whatever the hell you're listening to the show on. Please tell your friends. What the hell? Tell your enemies. Follow us on social at Wingnut Social. I had a brain fart. And go to wingnutsocial.com to check out all of our awesome sauce services. And you can see the show notes on this and see where we're speaking at High Point and at Risa Edge and all these good places where you can come meet us in person. And we will, what? Natalie, what?
Well, we're going to say hello, obviously, but if you send us a DM or an email to info@wingnutsocial.com, you better bet your butt we're going to reply back.
Can the virtual assistant answer the emails?
Negative.
All right, Natalie will answer all your emails. Okay.
Absolutely, I will.
And that's it for this week.
So long.
See ya.
You've reached the end of this episode of Wingnut Social, but that's only your first step. Be sure to head to wingnutsocial.com to reach out to us directly and schedule your free consultation with one of our Wingnut social media specialists to take your business from social mediocre to social media master. We'll see you on the next episode of Wingnut Social, your social media tightly fastened.
Good boy, Mango.